Hello, everyone. I'm Sign1News anchor Martha Anger. Here's a quick look at the top trending stories making headlines today. If you post an interesting comment about this update, we may add it at the bottom of the screen. Two southern schools were struck with separate tragedies over the weekend. The first story. Well, let me back up. In both cases, lives were lost. And in one instance, criminal charges are involved. In the first story, just a few hours after the University of Georgia football team celebrated its national championship win, UGA player Devin Willock was killed in a single vehicle crash early Sunday morning. UGA staffer Chandler LaCroix, who was driving the vehicle, also died in the crash, according to police. Residents who lived near the crash scene provided these photos to CNN. Police say the SUV LaCroix was driving left the road and crashed into two power poles and several trees. And just a few hours after his death, this picture was posted of Willock letting a 7-year-old boy wear his championship ring while at an Athens restaurant. In the second story, University of Alabama basketball player Darius Miles was arrested Sunday and charged with murder. Investigators say Miles and another man allegedly fired into a vehicle with two people inside. A woman was hit and later died from her wounds. Police say the shooting happened after the two groups got into an argument while they were driving near an area of the campus known as the Strip. Miles and the other man, Davis, are currently jailed without bond, and Miles was kicked off the basketball team. Two Illinois paramedics are facing murder charges over the death of a patient. Police say on December 18th, 44-year-old Peggy Finley and 50-year-old Peter Cokagne responded to a home in Springfield. They picked up a patient who was allegedly going through alcohol withdrawal. According to police, Finley and Cokagne strapped the patient on the stretcher in the prone position, face down on his stomach, and he suffocated. Both are being held on million-dollar bonds and are expected in court this week. Flood watches are in place once again in California. Residents are preparing for another round of rain today. Up to 3 more inches of rain is expected in areas already too saturated to absorb more water. Flood watches are in place for around 8 million people. Thousands of residents are voluntarily evacuating because of the rising flood water. But relief is on the way. According to the National Weather Service, A stretch of dry weather is expected to begin this Thursday. The White House is facing increasing criticism for its lack of transparency related to the recent discovery of more classified documents found in President Biden's home and a private office. The documents were from Biden's time as vice president. Over the weekend, Biden's lawyers say they found 5 additional documents at Biden's home in Delaware. That brings the total number of discovered documents to 20. CNN learned that the documents contained information about Ukraine, Iran, and the UK. And those documents included top secret files. Many Republicans are now comparing Biden's case to the investigation into former President Donald Trump. And they are demanding more investigations into Biden. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a national holiday celebrating the birth of the civil rights leader who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. Hundreds of people and dignitaries from around the world gathered at the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church for the annual King celebration. King was pastor at the church until his assassination in 1968. On Sunday, President Joe Biden became the first sitting president to deliver a sermon from the church. And there are several ways you can celebrate the day. You can support a Black-owned business, educate yourself about the civil rights movement, or you can use King's message of acceptance and justice to inspire your art. The National Park Service is offering free entry to national parks today. It is one of 5 days this year where entrance fees will be waived at all 63 parks in the U.S. and more than 420 places in total. Iconic actor and filmmaker Tom Hanks is introducing a cocktail that he says was born during a moment of celebration over the holidays. It's called the Diet Cokagne. The drink is a combination of Diet Coke and champagne. He says he discovered it after he decided to add a shot of champagne to his Diet Coke, and it was delicious. Now it's beginning to trend across the internet. TikTok users are posting videos of themselves trying the drink in different settings. If you want to make the Diet Cokagne at home, it's really simple. Just combine 2/3 of a Diet Coke of your choosing, then add a shot of champagne. And that's it. It's so easy, right? But Diet Coke? Maybe I'll try Dr. Pepper. Eventually, some movie will top the Avatar sequel at the box office. But it wasn't this weekend. James Cameron's Avatar, The Way of Water, continues at number 1 for the 5th straight week. It added $31.1 million to its domestic box office total. The movie has now made a whopping $570.3 million in North America and $1.9 billion worldwide. That's a surprise, in that the horror movie Megan came in a distant second place, raking in $17.9 million. I'm thrilled for that, to see a horror film. It's hard to sell horror films these days. Sign1News will be broadcasting updates Monday through Friday. A big thank you to our Sign1News app supporters. You help make this broadcast happen. You can download the Sign1News app by heading to the App Store or Google Play Store on your smartphone. And you can also watch on Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku.